Well, David Shapiro is no doubt going to be buying one of those cars. Isn't your Mini ready to...
Yeah, as soon as I come back from Omaha, I'm getting my new Cooper S.
You'll wait and hear if Warren Buffett says it's time to buy a new car. If he says it's the time to invest in
now mine's
hard
5
assets.
years old. I've got to up the model.
You're supposed to be buying gold, Dave.
I've got gold.
Well, you get some more gold because we're going to talk to Paul Walker a bit later today. And it's very interesting reading the annual survey from GFMS. He's now talking about $1,100 an ounce.
Yeah.
So if you in the mid-800s, where the gold price is at the moment, that is pretty good value.
It bounced today, and I think it's starting to find a bottom. Yeah, but it's still finding a bottom. You know, we had a rather torrid time. It's come down quite dramatically. So at least people were coming in at these levels.
At least gold shares lifted their head a little after those decimation of the last 3 days. There.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it starts to find a bottom at these levels, both gold and gold shares.
So if George Soros says it's a sucker rally, we've been... One of us has been saying it's a sucker rally. The other one of us has been a raging bull. Are you now coming to the Soros camp?
No, I'll stay with Mark Farber. You know, from
who?
Mark Farber. Gloom, doom, and boom report. What's it? He says that the S&P will come back about 10% and then start after July. So I think this is just a pullback. But Soros is look. I understand what he's saying. He says it is a sucker rally and it won't last simply because the economies haven't turned, which makes sense.
Soros says the banking system is stuffed.
He says it's zombie. They're zombie banks.
They're zombie banks.
Zombie banks, which refer to the
Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's it. The Japanese banks a decade ago were zombie banks. You can't do anything. You can't write off your assets. You can't sell your assets because you have to realize losses. You know, your loans are sterile. You can't do anything. You're, as you say, walking dead.
Though the JSE today wasn't quite walking dead, but it wasn't too good. Financials down 2.5%. All
there wasn't much. There wasn't any news. Mr. Mboweni also came out with a statement saying.
What's he saying? He's disagreeing with Trevor Manuel.
Well, he said. I think he cautioned that we could fall into a recession. I think. Whereas Trevor Manuel said we won't be in a recession. We'll probably just.
Surely they should compare notes before speaking publicly.
I know. I don't know whether
because the public gets confused.
We are confused. In any case, I suppose growth is so low it doesn't really make any difference.
How much more confused can the South African public be, though? You have a president in waiting who is apparently now being cleared of fraud charges, which didn't exist in the first place, but he's been cleared on a technicality. It's so confusing, David. Can we just sit back and say, well...
Well, I just hope that, like a teenager, like teenagers, we hope that they grow up one day from adolescence into adults and that we can sort all of this out somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not doing the politicians' cause any good, is it?
Thank goodness for our businnesmen. I still think we've got great businessmen and very well-run businesses, which I think attracts overseas interest and just keeps the economy going around.
David, apart from those great businessmen, there weren't some... It wasn't that great on the market today. Some of those shares have actually lost a lot of value, and we saw Comair down another 10% today. Any thoughts on why?
I'm surprised because I think it might be just on worries that the economy is going to take a lot longer to repair. Passenger numbers might be down. It's certainly not on the oil price, which seems to be steady, and also the rand's improving. So it just might be that investors also taking a few profits after a very, very good run.
Just on reflection, I'd be a bit cautious about calling our businessmen great businessmen.
You don't reckon?
Well, think of some of those companies, Ferrytech.
Oh, no, that's just the... Okay, sure.
Old Mutual, 25 Rand to 7 Rand. Shall I stop now, or shall we embarrass ourselves a little more?
I suppose, we better not go through the list. I think the retailers are good. I don't want to go into the banks.
Politicians, businessmen, stockbrokers, they're all in the same league at the moment, I'm afraid. You can't actually put one out on a pedestal.